Welcome, fellow explorers, to Discovering Grays Lake podcast. My name is David Wool, and I'm your guide on this journey through the hidden gems and untold stories of our beloved Grays Lake. Whether you're a longtime resident or just passing through, this podcast is your passport to the heart and soul of our community. Together, we'll uncover history, celebrate the present, and dream about the future of Grays Lake. I'm doing my best to leave no stone unturned in our quest to discover what makes our town so truly special. Get ready for interviews with local legends, fascinating insights of our town's past with a sprinkle of the unexpected. I invite you to join me every week as we embark on this adventure together. This is the Discovering Grays Lake podcast. A quick word from our sponsors and on to the show. It's time to unleash your style with custom shirts. Explore endless possibilities with Jammin' Tees. Whether it's for school, business, team, or events, Jammin' Tees has you covered, literally, for all your custom apparel needs. Hey there, Grays Lake. Looking for a good time right in the heart of our awesome community? Well, look no further than the Grays Lake Village Center, your one-stop destinations for all things fun and fabulous. Picture this. Historic downtown vibes with a mix of diverse businesses, shopping galore, and restaurants that'll make your taste buds dance. But that's not all. The Village Center is where the action is, with events happening year-round for the whole family. Take a stroll through Central Park, Gelatin Park, surrounded by trails, green spaces, and more activities than you could shake a sledding hill at. And when the weather warms up, dive into the Grays Lake Aquatic Center for some splash-tastic fun. But wait, there is more. Visit GraysLakeVillageCenter.com to discover the incredible lineup of events happening every month. Want the 411 delivered straight to your inbox? Sign up for the Grays Lake Village Center digital newsletter on the website, or check out their Facebook page for the latest happenings. Be in the know. Not sure what you're waiting for? Come on down, soak in the local vibes, and enjoy the experience that's unmistakably Grays Lake. Grays Lake Village Center, where the fun never stops. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another podcast from Discovering Grays Lake. First of all, I'd like a big shout out to Agora Co-working right here on the corner of Center and Atkinson. They're friendly enough to let me record here as often as I'd like. So big shout out to Luke. So if you're looking for a place to get out of the house, if you need a meeting space or just a little office for short-term or long-term, Luke is the man to talk to. So speaking of the man, I'm sitting here with Peter Bauschke. Bauschke?
Yeah.
See, I said it right the first time.
You got it.
All right, so let me preface this by I was introduced to you, and first of all, I was introduced to you as Peter the Painter.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
Turns out you do a little more than painting, which we're going to get into.
Yeah, Peter the Painter. Sometimes, Peter the Drummer.
Peter the Drummer.
Drummer Peter, whatever.
Okay, and the drummer's a little bit more sexy than the painter, right?
Yes.
Well, first let's tell Grays Lake, because how long have you lived in Grays Lake?
I moved here in 99, so 24, 25 years.
Gosh, time flies.
Yeah.
When people say 99, I don't feel like it's that long ago, but
right, it is.
Apparently we're old.
Right, we are.
Okay, so you moved here. Where did you move from?
I was in Mundelein,
okay.
So that's where I actually grew up. But I actually was in Gurney. I lived in Heather Ridge for a while as well. And
so what brought you to Grays Lake then?
You know what? When I was house searching for my next house, I wanted out of Mundelein. I grew up there. I just wanted to be somewhere else.
Right.
And boy, I really wanted Libertyville. But just couldn't find the house that I could afford.
Yes.
And, I had to pare down my dream a little bit. That's nothing, against Grays Lake, of course. But we all know Libertyville's quite a bit more expensive. So.
It is.
But, and I settled in and I love it. I've loved it. Yeah, it's a great town. So.
Yeah, and you got some cool neighbors.
Yes.
Peter lives in a pretty good neighborhood with some hoodlums.
Yeah, they like to party.
Right. It's a fun place to live.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start off, and what we're going to do the obvious first.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm always in need of people to paint.
Yes.
And I don't know anybody, so I like to support local business. So tell me a little bit about your painting business, and then we're going to get into some rock and roll.
Yeah. So I started painting when I was 18 years old. So 40 years.
Wow.
I'm 58 now, and my partner Steve. So we're called PS Painting Company. It's for Peter and Steve. Steve and I have been painting together for the entire about 39 years.
Wow.
We met right out of high school working for the same guy, and after about 10, 12 years or whatever it was, 15 years, our boss would be pulling up in the Corvette and just handing us a paycheck on Friday, and we looked at each other and like, we can do this, you know. Right. But of course, we were never able to hand the work off to somebody else. You know, I do all the work. So if you call PS Painting, I'm going to answer the phone, or I'm going to return your call. I'm going to come out and do the estimate, and I'm going to paint.
Right.
I do it all.
So it's not farmed out to somebody else.
No, not farmed out to somebody else. So but you know, between Steve and I, you got 80 years of experience there of painters. Wow. And then we have a third guy. We've always had a third. I mean, I call him a helper, but he's a painter. You know. Right. So there's a crew of 3 of us.
What kind of stuff do you paint?
We do everything: interior, exterior. We'll pressure wash decks, siding, and we repair. We do a lot of repairs as well. You know, rotten boards. Well, you know, you don't have to find somebody else. We can generally handle most repairs. Everything from tearing down wallpaper and repairing drywall and the small handyman stuff. If it's paint or stain, we do it.
Right. Nice.
So, yeah.
It's funny how people fall into different things where you're known as, I've been called like DJ Dave or Drone Dave. Like, you're recognized by that you do.
Right.
So let's talk music.
Yeah.
So I know very little, which I love doing podcasts like this because I know just like a fraction of things from our mutual friends.
Right.
So you play in a band called Hello Dave.
Correct.
Which I know that a lot of people listening know who Hello Dave is.
Yeah.
Let's start at the beginning of that. How do you get into music and end up with Hello Dave?
Well, over 40 years of playing drums out there every weekend, hammering away in the club scene, and you just develop a network of musician friends.
Right.
And I was lucky enough to get called on to back up this singer named Matthew McBride, and he would play 4 nights a week, and I loved it. I was in heaven. And that's the beauty of having my own painting business, because I scheduled the painting around the band, not the other way around.
Nice.
The band was first, because we would travel a lot. And so anyway, I played with Matt for many years, and he brought in a bass player. It was one of the top, Chris Clemente out of Chicago. This guy is one of the top guys in Chicago. And Chris used to play in Hello Dave years ago. Well, he got word that they were looking for a drummer, and he referred me. He just said, you got to try out Peter, give him a shot,
Right.
And that was it. So
how long ago was that?
That was 18 years ago, probably 18, 19 years ago when I got into Hello Dave. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long has Hello Dave been around?
Hello Dave, I'm actually the 3rd drummer. They've been around for probably 30 years.
No kidding.
So yeah, it was started, Mike Heimbaugh is the singer. He started the band at Eastern Illinois. It was where he went to school. So
all right.
It started there. They've been hammering away like road dogs is what they call them. They're just on the road, just playing. So, and that was what I wanted. I wanted so bad to get in a band that toured around, and that band definitely gave me a lot of pretty cool experiences, and still does to this day. We do some pretty cool stuff.
Right. So I have musician friends, and it's hard to make a living, isn't it?
Yes. Well, especially when you're playing originals. We're not a cover band. Everything has changed out there. The cover bands. If you're a good, the cover bands that have developed huge followings, they're making a killing.
Right.
Original bands, that's either starvation or millionaire status. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's
not
nowhere
much in between. Right.
I guess there is now more. They're jam bands. It's so blown wide open now with the jam bands, and some of these bands can do pretty well. We didn't make a whole lot, but it was fun as hell.
Yeah.
So
I'm good friends. One of my good friends is Ike Riley. Do you know Ike?
Oh, yeah. I know who Ike is. Yeah.
So Ike's fun because he has like this cult following, but in order to make money, I've heard some of his struggles and everything. The concerts are packed when you have your following, and he travels around, but to really be able to make it's hard work.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's hard on your body, right?
Yeah. Late nights, and it's being up late and hammering away in the bars, and
yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is. Now, I loved it. I did love it. Now, there's no question that there were points where I felt burned out, because we'd play 100, 50 shows a year. I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
shows.
I mean, we would be gone every weekend. We'd hit, load up the van, trailer, gear, and we did short tours, you know what I mean? We weren't gone for weeks, other than we did do a couple of tours for the U.S. military where we were gone for a month at a time, playing really cool
Okay,
bases all over the world.
I want you to dive into that for me, because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so the first, now I joined the band just as they got back from Afghanistan. So I missed that. They were Iraq, not Afghanistan. They were in Iraq. And and that was their like 8th military tour. So when I got in the band, the following year we did a Mideast tour. So we did Qatar, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia, and Djibouti, Africa. Yes, so we did these 5-6 countries, and we were playing these bases, playing for the troops, and it was amazing. And there were sayings that the closer you got to the line, so like when we played a base in Kuwait that was right on the border of Iraq, that was literally the entry point where the troops came and left, to head in and out of the war. And that was Camp Virginia. I'll never forget it. I mean, just, there's the weaponry and everything going on there was amazing. But that was where we had the biggest reception, where the troops appreciated us,
Really?
So, the closer we got to there, it was huge crowds, and it was a piece of home. We were bringing them a piece of home. So
yeah.
And it was very cool.
Wow. Okay, did they know the songs?
Well, we always sprinkle in a couple of cover songs. We've always done that. But our originals are pretty. They're just the down home. We're like an Americana band. You know what I mean? We have a little flavor of blues and southern and party band. I kind of say we're like the Allman Brothers meets the Eagles with a dash of Jimmy Buffett. So, we're very harmony. Yeah, we're very harmony based. We rock, we jam, and it's kind of a party. And it's, so no, to answer your question, they probably don't know our originals. Right. But it was a good band.
Yeah. And how appreciative were they with the hell they were going through, and you guys get to walk in? How satisfying for you it must have been just to see these guys and gals just loving it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Just a little escape.
Right. Wow. So that was a 5 or 6 week tour.
Grays Lake, are you ready for some nonstop fun with the Grays Lake Park District? Hundreds of classes, programs, community events, all designed to keep those smiles shining. Explore over 240 acres of parks, each a playground of excitement. Safety is their priority, ensuring a good time for all ages. From kids to the young at heart, the Grays Lake Park District has something for everyone. Grab your seasonal program guide for memories that'll last a lifetime. Your adventure begins with the Grays Lake Park District, where fun knows no limits.
Hello, Grays Lake. It's Randy Cashmore with Cashmore Financial Group. It's no secret that I love our village, and a big reason for that is my membership with the Grays Lake Chamber of Commerce. If you haven't taken a look at the Grays Lake Chamber lately, you should. We're a wonderful group of business people creating a positive difference in the village we call home. Reach out and get involved today. You'll be glad you did.
And then we did another one in Europe where we started in Bosnia and Kosovo. I mean, I stood on the corner in Sarajevo where Franz Ferdinand was shot. Because when we would do these tours, they would also, indulge us with some, we'd get to see the cities, and the military would, they'd have somebody assigned to us to take us around and show us around. And he was like, here's the corner Franz Ferdinand was shot and started World War I.
How cool.
In Sarajevo, right. And another cool thing, I love helicopters. Try not to go on too long here, but
no, that's fine.
And while we were in Bosnia, we had some downtime, and I just asked one of the guys, one of the military guys, I'm like, is there any helicopters around? I just want to go see them. And he's like, oh yeah, that hangar right over there. There's a couple Black Hawks. Just go ahead and knock on the door. And so this big giant hangar, I kind of walk in, and there's, milling around, a few guys milling around and all their, their gear. And I just said, hey, I just kind of wanted to see the helicopters. They'd be like, come on in. So when I'm so interested in these helicopters, they're like, well, we got to run up and do some training runs. You want to get in?
No way.
Yes. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Yes. And they were doing training runs with a guy fully loaded 50 cal, door opened, and we're just cruising over these mountains and just did a run, and 2 helicopters just kind of in tandem there, and it was pretty wild. So
wow.
Yeah, some neat experiences.
Wow.
Yeah, and that trip we ran through most of Europe. So that was started in Kosovo, Bosnia. We went through like Austria. We played a base in Garmisch, Germany, which is basically in the German Alps, one of the most gorgeous places. This is where they get to go for R&R.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm learning this stuff, and these, the ones with real battle fatigue or whatever, they get this gorgeous place to hang out. So we played there, and then we moved on up through Belgium. We went into the UK, and we played bases all through. And we played the largest U.S. base in Germany, which is Ramstein. If you've ever, that's like just a massive United States military base. So yeah.
How many people at these shows? Do you have any idea?
You know what? Again,
I'm sure some are bigger than others.
Yes. Yeah. Wherever the more hellacious place we were in, the bigger the crowds. When we were at Ramstein, that place is beautiful.
Right.
There's nobody under any stress there that needs any art. You know what I mean?
Right.
So small crowds.
Right.
But when we got into those Middle Eastern countries and where it's a little more gnarly, that's where they were there. So they were really into it.
Wow. Okay. So my obvious question that comes to my mind is, how in the hell do you secure gigs like that? Does somebody come to you guys? Do you go to them and say, I want to do this? How does that happen?
Well, that was obviously, as I had said, they'd been doing it before I came in the band, and they had developed a rapport with the United, that was run under the AFE. So the USO, that's where the Bob Hopes and the Kid Rocks, the Rockstars tour under the USO. The bands like us toured under the AFE, which is Armed Forces Entertainment. And we had a contact person, and he loved us. And every year they just offer up the tours. They would just offer them up. But we would get $175 per guy, per day, per diem. But everything else was paid for. So you basically came home with about $3,000 after a month,
right.
Each
and you
guy.
got to see all of this stuff.
And you got to see all that.
And you had a service that you were doing for the service.
Yes, and it was pretty cool. Especially, like I said, in some of those places, you can just tell they just loved it.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
I can't even imagine just seeing the looks on their face. I'm sure you have a ton of memories of things that really touch people's lives.
Yeah, I have lots of photos from those, and we actually had, interesting side note, on our Middle East tour, 2 film students from Berkeley followed us and did a 10-minute documentary which was on CNN.
No way.
Yeah. So I posted it up on my Facebook page years ago, because this tour.
I want to see it.
Yeah, this tour was back in 2005. I think we did that Middle Eastern one, and and they did a nice little job. They were Berkeley students, and it's like 10 minutes long. Anderson Cooper interviews the 2 filmmakers, and they show the little doc they did, and it's pretty cool.
That is awesome. So we can find that somewhere.
Yeah, well. Not on CNN. I actually...
If you have it, get it to me.
I recorded it on a VCR, and then had a buddy in Grays Lake who converts stuff. He converted it to digital for me so that I could then load it onto YouTube. So I do have... There would be a YouTube link, but I can get that.
Yeah, you get that to me, because I would love to send that out to have people see. Just because I think it's fantastic.
Sure. Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you still playing with the band?
Yeah, we definitely went from... probably 7-8 years ago, we went off the road. Long story short, the singer wanted to start a horse rescue, which he did. So Mike, the singer, left Chicago, moved 2 hours west, almost to the Iowa border, and has a 150-acre horse rescue farm. Yeah. Pretty wild.
Sounds like a great dude.
So now, but over all those years, we developed a lot of fans, some fans with some money, and now we play 8-10 shows a year. 9 of them are private parties.
Right.
And we do 1 public show a year, and it is a fundraiser for Mike's Horse Farm. And we do it up in Fontana, always Labor Day weekend, September, whatever the first.
Really?
Yeah, that's always Saturday. It's outdoors in Fontana on Lake Geneva, gorgeous setting. And so that's our one time people can come out and see us.
Wow.
So
do you miss that? Do you miss traveling around?
Yeah. I mean, playing 8 to 10 shows a year is not enough for me. That's why I'm in about 4 other bands now. So yeah. I'm playing in several, but they're all, 10, 12 shows a year. Okay. I play with a guy named Terry Byrne. We do a lot of the Wrigley Cub games, the Gallagher Way. I don't know if you've been to a Cub game. They have a band out there every home game. Well, we do probably 5 games a year.
That's got to be fun.
Yeah. That's what's a long ass day though.
I bet.
They want you there at 8 in the morning because the games are always 1:20.
Right.
They want you there at 8 in the morning. The band has got to be there because they close the roads like by 8:39. So you won't be able to get your gear in. We play from like 11:30 to 12:30, and then we got to wait till after the game is over and then play an hour after the game. So I generally leave my front door at 7 in the morning and I get home about 7, 8 at night. So I'm gone 12, 13 hours.
Wow.
And for an okay amount of money.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, as we know in the entertainment industry, it doesn't always pay exactly what it, but you're doing what you love.
Yeah. And, we also, with Hello Dave, we happen to have a very wealthy.
Can we say who that is?
Yeah.
I heard rumors.
Yes. Jimmy John Leoto, who everyone knows, Jimmy John's Sandwich Shop, which he's, worth $5 billion. Well, he happens to be one of our biggest fans.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes, and it is pretty crazy. So my first year I joined Hello Dave in 2004-ish. One of the first gigs, Mike's like, okay, we're flying to Vegas. We're playing a party for Jimmy John, And I'm like, who? I'm like, what?
Right.
So, and flew us out to Vegas. We played a 2-hour party, but he puts us up out there for 3 days. Here, just go ahead, have some fun while you're here. And we played a corporate party for the Jimmy John's corporate. He had he had all his franchisees out there. Every year for 18 years, we played at least one party for him. At least one. So I played 4 parties for him 2023.
You did 4 parties?
Yeah, we did 4 parties for him. We've played on his yacht. He's got a $200 million yacht. We've played a couple times. He's flown us down. We've played Super Bowl parties. And he gets Rockstars for his parties. So we've opened for Kid Rock on his parties. We've opened for John Mayer he's had at his parties. Jimmy Fallon has come up and jammed with us.
Stop it.
Yeah. And the guy from Motley Crue has come up and jammed with us too. Vince Neil did 2 or 3 songs with us when we were playing a private party.
How fun was that?
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah.
I filmed it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I got my phone set up. I'm like, this is crazy. So, yeah, that's been a pretty cool, nice little perk. An experience that this band has brought me. So, that just keeps on going. He's a generous dude.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's good that he's a fan.
Yeah.
It's very good that he's a fan.
Yeah.
How is he to work with? Like easy, just let you guys do your thing?
Yeah. And he's the kind of guy, like, when we get on his boat and we're hauling all the gear up to his boat and we get up and he'll be like one of the first guys before his party guests arrive and he's like, who needs a drink? You need a drink? You need a drink? And he starts making drinks for the band, He's got 12, staff on this boat.
But he wants to have hands on.
Yeah.
That's
and he's
great.
over there, taking care of us. So, but yeah,
Wow, so you've been pretty fortunate.
Yeah. In that sense, I have. It's been pretty cool. So.
Wow. So how long is your music career going to last?
That's the beauty of this. I can do it until people don't want to look at my ugly old ass on a stage anymore. You know what I mean?
I've been to a lot of shows where the drummers look like they should have stopped a long time ago.
Right.
But it keeps you in shape too.
Sure.
That's hard work.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're in the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
They're not going to see.
You don't have to be the front man.
Yeah.
So you say you play for a couple other bands too? Are they local ones?
Yeah. So Terry Byrne, Terry is a machine. You can see him. He plays solo 7 days a week, all over the place, and he's at Emils, he'll do Emils. He's on that circuit once every 2 months or whatever.
Right.
And the other guys, Big Al Wetzel, he's a guy out of Lake Geneva who's actually the bass player in Hello Dave. So all the guys in Hello Dave, so Al has got a full-time, he is killing it up in Lake Geneva.
Really?
He was the bass player in Hello Dave, and now he just sings and plays in his own band. And so he calls me to fill in every here and there. Well, most of it's fill-in stuff, you know.
So you're still friends with all those guys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
I'm sure traveling around like that, you know, you get to hear all these stories from, well, I get to hear stories of like band members and, you know, how they're like brothers, but riffs at the same time. That I'm sure on the road you probably want to kill each other every once in a while too.
You know, it happens. Yep.
Yeah, especially because I'm sure in the beginning, you know, it's a kind of a party lifestyle too.
Oh yeah. I've got an audio. I wish I had the video. I can remember it in my head, but I have audio of, I mean, literally the singer and the bass player just literally fighting right in the middle of a gig. Yeah. I mean, and shoving and you know. Oh yeah.
Well, how did that gig end?
Oh well, of course I'm driving the van. This was at University of Iowa. I won't forget. We were playing the Q Bar in University of Iowa. So and it was a tense drive home, and it was one of these stop the van. You know, like right. They wanted to kill each other. So yeah, that's how it went.
That's fun. But how many great stories do you have?
Yeah, tons. Yeah.
Now, so you're married and have how many children?
I have two girls. My wife Renee and I have two girls, and I have an older son, so who's 28 years old. Okay. And my girls are 14 and 11.
Wow. So how many stories do they know about you?
My girls? Or?
Yeah, all the kids.
Well,
they know the good ones.
Yeah,
they know the dad's a rockstar.
Yeah. They know some of the bad ones. You know, they don't know everything, not yet, but they will.
Right. Now, were you married when you were traveling like this?
No. Okay. No. So Renee and I met. Renee and I met through a Hello Dave show, and that's how I met her. Well, her sister was a huge fan. They lived in Chicago, and we'd play the Wise Fools Pub in Lincoln Park all the time. That was kind of a regular spot of ours. And Renee worked around the corner at the Twisted Lizard restaurant. Well, anyway, we met at that club in that area, and you know, we kind of locked eyes, that whole thing. But it was I'm a bit shy, so she kept coming to shows. It was a year and a half before I finally worked up the courage.
Come on.
To ask her out, yeah.
Okay, and you're shy.
Yeah, well, you know, I was a little. Yeah.
I don't see that at all, so sorry. That's funny, though. So you got to actually, through your music, get to meet her?
Yeah.
Wow. And how long have you guys been married? I'm not throwing you under the bus.
Yeah, no. We did some things unconventional. We had both of our children unmarried.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that that's unconventional.
Yeah,
these days,
right. You're probably right at this time. And then it wasn't until my oldest was just entering kindergarten, then we got married. So we've been married now 10 years. Been together 17.
Wow.
Something like that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fun like that.
Yeah. And then I got and this is the best part. So kids, then we got married, and then about 2 months later, I got her a ring. Anyway.
We don't always have to do things in order. You kind of all, but you did it.
Yeah,
at least you got the ring for it.
Yeah.
So that's good. Okay, so we are at the part of the show where we do what we call the Grays Lake Hot Seat.
Okay.
It's time for the Grays Lake Hot Seat. The Grays Lake Hot Seat today is brought to you by Premier Chiropractic. Dr. John, conveniently located in historical downtown Grays Lake. Premier Chiropractic offers you a full range of chiropractic care. John is dedicated to treating people within our community and showing them the benefit of great, convenient, affordable chiropractic care. So if you're looking to get straightened out, go see Dr. John at Premier Chiropractic. Now for the Grays Lake Hot Seat.
So this is going to be the Grays Lake Hot Seat with painter Rockstar.
Yeah.
Peter. So, all right. So I'm just going to ask you some questions. Answer as fast as you'd like, and hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about you during these. If you had to have a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, Who wouldn't love immortality? But you know what? I think the ability to absorb and retain knowledge instantly. If I could touch a book and have it memorized, that'd be pretty awesome.
That might be one of the best answers
Yeah,
I've heard.
yeah.
That's good. Tell me a place you'd like to travel that you've never been.
Antarctica.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of like this one and I hate it at the same time. Favorite TV show growing up?
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
I couldn't wait to get home for the $6 Million Man. So
Awesome, right?
Yes. I mean, come on.
I know.
Right.
Kids don't even appreciate. They have no idea.
Right.
Who's the funniest person that you know?
You know what? Robbie Leoto. That's Jimmy John's brother.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
First car that you ever owned?
Toyota pickup, 2-wheel drive Toyota pickup truck.
Nice.
Yeah.
We know about some of your talents, but do you have a hidden talent?
You know what? I think I'm a pretty good storyteller.
I think after people listen to this, it's no longer hidden.
Yeah.
You're actually a really good
right.
storyteller. But
Yeah.
that is a good answer. If you had to write a book, what would it be about?
Oh, you know what? The things I love investing. So it'd probably be investing, financial freedom, and enlightenment. How about that?
Okay, that'd be a good read.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a big book. Okay, so if you had to go back and take a job in another field, because it sounds like you've done some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Did you have like a childhood dream, or if you had to take another job in your life to do it over again, what would that field be?
I've always wanted to fly helicopters.
With your passion for it, you should see his eyes lighten up.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we told the story about in there. Okay, helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
Would the 12-year-old version of yourself think that you were cool?
I think so. I actually have kind of some proof of that. No, I just went on. I'm sorry, I don't know if this is supposed to be quick. But
No, it doesn't have to be.
I went on my daughter's 8th grade Washington, D.C. trip last year. So I'm here with a bunch of 13-year-olds.
Right.
They're not 12. They're
Right.
13-ish. And we were having fun. I think I was having fun. We were with the kids and everything. And my daughter had texted to my wife, halfway through the trip. She was like, "Oh my God, Mom, Dad is so popular. Everybody loves him."
See, that's
yeah.
great.
And I was like, "You got to be kidding."
That's great.
Yeah.
Actually, at Jimmy John's yesterday,
Yes.
I was sitting there because my 7-year-old son wanted to go there, and on the wall it has a sign of what is success. But basically, it's not the things you own, it's not any of this, but it's how your children talk about you to their friends.
Yeah.
That
I
is
love
success.
That. And I love all those signs at Jimmy John's. They're great.
It's my 7-year-old going, "That says for you to pee. Why is it upside down?" I'm like, you figured it out already.
Right.
You don't even need to ask. But it's cool that you say that because it's proof.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a nickname?
Pita.
Pita.
Yeah.
All right. What do you wish that you'd learned sooner?
Oh, the magic, the miracle of compounding interest.
Yes.
I'd be retired 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
And I think it's something that everybody,
Yeah.
especially younger kids, should learn fast.
Yes.
Okay, so what was your first pet's name?
Irving.
Irving. And then what street did you grow up on?
Lake.
So Irving Lake is your porn star name.
Irving Lake. All right.
Okay. From now on,
We'll,
it's no more like Peter the Painter or Peter the Drummer. It's Irving Lake.
Irving Lake's not bad.
No, it's not bad. Not bad at all. Have you ever ate a roller dog from a gas station?
Played in a band,
you've been on the road forever.
Yes.
Okay,
now,
what's the favorite one though?
Well,
is it a taquito? Is it a dog?
Yes. So the taquito, I only did it once because I'm a little OCD. So, and it was out of desperation. So
starving to death.
Yes.
You have no idea how many people go, roller dog.
Yeah. Oh, God, I know what those
Yeah,
are.
you have to know what a
Yeah,
roller.
yeah.
If you've traveled,
Right.
if you travel around, you figure out what a roller
For
dog
sure.
is. Pretty freaking quick.
Yeah.
What's your middle name?
David.
Hey, great name.
Yes.
Love it. If you had to have a theme party at your house, what would it be?
Theme party. Everybody come dressed as libertarians.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe it'll rub off on
Right,
you.
I don't know. Yeah, I won't be waiting for my invitation on that.
Or how about
no?
no? How about everybody come dressed as a monk and we all meditate? There we go. I like that.
That'd
better.
be a great
Sorry.
party.
That's a better one.
I might be late to that one
Yes,
too, though.
yes, yeah.
From 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
Oh, I'm a 9.8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got to watch out for the confident guys, folks.
Yes.
So stay out of his way. Did you play a sport in high school?
You know what? I did 1 year, freshman year of gymnastics, but I was one of the band kids. I played band all through high school.
Awesome. So
yeah.
obviously you played drums?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if maybe you switched or
No.
So you were immediately attracted to drums?
5th grade on. Yeah, I played in the band, when they offered to you in 5th grade, and I did it all the way through senior year. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It shows how shallow I am sometimes when I ask these questions. Like, did you play a sport? No,
right.
Or a club, or like
Yeah,
somebody might
yeah.
be on the debate club, and that's just as important as anything else. So,
Right.
Grace Lake, I apologize for my shallowness.
Right.
So I will change that. Okay, so in Grace Lake, since you've been here for a long time, do you have a favorite event that you like to go to in Grace Lake?
The tree lighting, which we were just at, was pretty neat. It's just festive. It feels really close-knit, and the whole town is out. I mean, that's the last thing I did. So that was pretty, and we do that pretty almost every year. But, I like the 4th of July parade, too. I'm kind of a patriotic kind of guy.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. We do have some good parades around here, too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so if you and I were to go out, and we're going to go watch a sporting event tonight, where would we go?
Well, the Bears aren't on tonight.
I know.
I'm kind of football,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go watch a Cub game, but boy, what else is? I mean, I guess we could go watch some hockey.
Right. Where would we watch it at?
I'm thinking we're going to.
In Grace Lake. No, where are we going?
Oh, you know what? I probably feel comfortable over at Emil's.
Okay. So Emil's is your go-to.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where I like throwing people under the bus. So what is your favorite podcast of mine that you've listened to?
Luke Mudd, baby.
Luke Mudd.
Yeah. You gotta love Luke.
I love Luke.
Yeah.
And folks, if you haven't listened to Dr. Mudd's, it's really good because you know what? It's hard, like, to have somebody that's that fun but that smart but out to really help people and make a difference.
Absolutely.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. You even said you learned some stuff about Luke and he's your friend.
Yeah, well, he walks the dog past my house, and I always make sure I slide that slider open and talk to him.
Right. I thought you were going to say something else.
No, yeah.
So when you eat tacos, do you tilt your head to the right or the left?
Okay, so I'm going to have to visually do this. I'm left-handed, so I probably tilt my head to the right.
See, I think we found out some really important stuff on this podcast about how to eat tacos the correct way.
Yes.
Very, very important stuff.
Yeah.
So if you had somebody coming from out of town to visit you in Grace Lake, with your pride in our town, where would you take them to show them how cool our town is? Where would you start?
Oh, man. I mean, to me, I would start right at Center Street. I mean, what a cute downtown, and just homey and warm. Yeah,
and especially with the lights up these days, it's like, oh my god.
The lights are gorgeous.
They should
for
just do year round.
Right.
Yeah, that's my and probably save the taxpayers some money if we didn't take them down.
Yeah.
I'm just looking,
That list has got to be a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. I forget how many thousands of lights they said there were there, but it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite childhood book?
Oh, favorite. Okay, so I am one of those late bloom. I hated reading.
Yep. And
not until later in life did I begin a love for reading. So childhood book, off the top of my head, I'm coming up blanks.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't. I always just remember what my parents read to me.
Yeah, you might say, what was it?
I think it was probably a Goodnight Moon. Or,
you're
something
thinking
like that.
okay. You're thinking of what like parents would read to you.
Well, most people read.
Yeah,
but since
yeah,
me
yeah,
and you
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
read, we had to listen to what our parents read
Right.
to
Yeah,
us.
no, I don't even remember being read to be honest with you. That was a long time ago. I'm sure I read to my kids though. We did that. But yeah, I don't know.
No, which is
Yeah.
okay. So downtown Grays Lake, we have all of these businesses. I'm not going to even say downtown Grays Lake. I'm going to say all of Grays Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that you would want, if we had to bring in a new business of something new, is there something that we need in your opinion?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I thought about myself, but I don't want all that work. Lolo's Bowls in Libertyville. You familiar with that place?
Yeah.
I think an acai place that quality. I don't know if you've ever been to that place.
I have. It's
They're
right next to the Salt of the Earth place.
Yeah, there's just a nonstop traffic of people coming in, and it's good.
Wow.
I think an acai place would kill here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's something that I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
One that we had somebody call in for before too, and I'm going to end with this one is you walk into a bar somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. And you're walking in slow motion. What is your walk-up song, or what's your walk-in song? What music is playing?
Oh, boy.
You're in a movie, and here comes Peter walking in. What music is playing in the background?
Holy cow. That opening riff to Tom Sawyer by Rush.
Amen. Great answer. Yeah. And it would work good in slow-mo, too.
Yes,
we might have to do these after every show and see how it works out.
That Moog synth to that bow. Yeah.
Yes.
That would work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of the hot seat. So thank you for participating in that. I always like how sometimes it brings out some other stories of maybe things about your personality or your experiences in Grays Lake, because we have a really cool town, and it's fun to see how many interesting people we have in this town. And I know every town has their things, but it's nice to get to know people.
Seeking a haven for your soul? Look no further than Inner Haven Spiritual Development Center, where your spiritual journey is uniquely yours. Artisans, storytellers, healers, teachers, spiritual warriors find guidance, support, and a haven for your inner self. Inner Haven is your sanctuary for transformation and discovery. Step into Inner Haven's Art Gallery, a haven within a haven. Immerse yourself in a world of joy where art, repurposed treasures, and specialty gifts await. They're not kidding when they say almost everything in their space is for sale. Discover a constant flow of new creations, all crafted by local artists who pour their hearts into every piece. It's just not shopping, it's an experience. Accent your home and find the perfect gift for a loved one at Inner Haven Art Gallery. Your journey begins at Inner Haven, where every piece has a story and every soul finds its haven.
Yeah. So our buddy wrote me a couple questions in here, and wow, our buddy Scott Schimpf. Maybe you're familiar with Scott Schimpf.
My good neighbor.
Yes, yeah, that's right. He's your neighbor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I lived next door to him, and I moved across the street.
Okay, so you're the guy he told the story about. So you sold your house next to him and then moved across the street.
Correct. Yes.
Good move. How's the neighborhood now?
Yes, it hasn't changed a bit.
That's awesome.
Except for Scott's new neighbors.
Yes.
Anyway.
We'll leave that. In case they're a listener of the show, you never know. So your kids have gone through the Grays Lake School District.
Yes, correct.
So you said they're
So I have a freshman
Okay.
at Central.
Yep.
That's Ella. And then Tala is a 5th grader at Frederick.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're going to be they're at the ages where you get spread out each school, boom,
she's
boom,
going to
boom.
leave high school and then Tala will enter. So, yeah.
It's like the never-ending cycle sometimes. Yeah, I've had like that where it's like, okay, now at least we had a freshman and a senior at the same time, and then I had the little guy that. So Scott actually put some things in here because he loves your drum solos.
Oh.
Yes, and he wants to know how often you practice your drum solos.
Oh. Well, do you
have a whole setup at your house?
Yeah. I've got a beautiful, nice custom high-end kit in my house that never moves, and then I have 2 travel kits. So, as far as practicing, I am definitely a binge guy. Where I'll hammer away OCD. for 3 straight months, and then I don't touch them for 3 months,
Really?
But I'm playing, I'm still playing live somewhere. It's not like I'm not touching them at all for 3 months, but,
Right.
But yeah, like in January, I'm going to be doing a jam thing. I think of the Sundance Saloon, so I've got a few songs to learn. So I'm going to hammer away and shed away on those. And
Awesome.
But yeah,
Hey, Sundance got a great stage and a great place for concerts there.
yeah,
I love what Bobby's done over there.
yeah,
It's been
for sure.
a lot of fun and brought in a lot of different bands.
Yeah, and I love close to home.
Amen. Yeah, your travel time isn't so
Right.
bad.
Exactly.
Just running up to Sundance
Right.
and back.
Yeah.
So I want to know, because you said you talked about one thing where there's an altercation on stage.
Yeah.
Things. So my favorite thing with bands or from DJing things, people always ask so where was your favorite show at? I'm going to start with your favorite show that you've ever done, if there is one.
Yeah.
And then I want to ask you your worst one. I want the nightmare one too.
Oh boy.
You can start with either one.
Yeah.
Usually the negative ones I remember a lot more.
Yeah. Probably one of the ones that stands out to me is we opened for REO Speedwagon at Ribfest in Naperville.
Awesome.
And there was probably 28,000 people. I mean, the crowd was massive.
Wow.
So we get up. Nobody knows who the hell we are. You know what I mean? We're laying out our original music that none of them have heard. And we only had like 50 minutes. We had a 50-minute set. And, after the first couple songs, the crowd was, lukewarm. But by the end of that show, we had them. I mean, we had 28,000 people screaming, and it was pretty wild. So
That's great.
Yeah, that is a show that always sticks out in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be fun to watch the progression of that too.
Right.
Because I've done a lot of things on stage, and especially when you get up, you're like, oh shit, here we go.
Right.
28,000 people hate us right now.
Right.
They just want REO Speedwagon to
Exactly.
come on. Right.
Exactly.
But it turned out great.
Yeah, it really did. It was a pretty cool experience.
All right, now for the fun part. Let's talk a disaster.
Yeah, boy. I mean, I think of that. The band definitely had a habit of people. Well, this is probably a lot of bands, but I feel like we had it extra. But people love to bring shots up. I mean, they just keep bringing them to the band. And this is a whole other story, but I don't drink, so my shot would always go to someone else. Someone was getting 2.
Right.
They, the show was just as I was saying. These 2 guys, the singer and the bass player, you could just see it starting. It was, they were, and see, this is hard to do without, no visual.
Right.
But it was just a constant antagonizing, getting in his face. Like we were doing The Wall. We were playing Pink Floyd, The Wall. And that was usually one of our closer songs. So, and this had been brewing the whole show, and here we are at The Wall, and that's why I say I've got it on tape. We're literally in the guitar solo portion of the song where nobody needs to be singing, and these 2 are just literally fighting and get shoved into the guitar amp. So right in the middle of the solo, you just hear the solo stop and the crashing down, and it was just
wow.
Kind of like, okay.
How did the crowd react?
No, here's the thing about college towns: everybody's wasted.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I wasn't. You know what I mean? So it's a different vibe.
And you're behind and get to see it all happening.
Yes, I'm watching it all happening, and it was just. I was always, a little bit of a perfectionist. You know what I mean? I want shit to go well. I want I want the shows to be good, and this was just something and these 2, this had been brewing for months. Okay, this didn't just happen that night, and they were just both hammered enough, and
wow, and things happen.
Yeah, and things happen. That's the worst thing. I'm sure there's vomit story. There's all kinds of stuff, but that was the one that just came off the top of my head.
They're doing it for years, I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure. All right, so we're getting close to wrapping up. I want to know, because the reason that we do the podcast, as everybody knows, is I love to build community, and I love for people to look over and say, oh my gosh, hey, I listened to your podcast, and they get to know a little bit more about you, because everybody now is going to want a Rockstar painter.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be Rockstar Painting.
Sure,
or
right.
something. Change up the name. So if they do want to get a hold of you, if somebody has a need for painting, because I want to make sure that that's first and foremost out there as a Grays Lake business, how do they get a hold of you again?
My direct number, 847, I can say my number,
Sure,
correct?
of
Yeah,
course,
it's 847-815-7336, and you will dial directly to my cell. So,
gotcha. Is there a Facebook page or anything like that?
I don't have a Facebook page. I don't have a website. I'm an old school. I haven't advertised in 20 years.
Word of mouth, baby.
Yeah, I got so much word of mouth business. That's just how it's always worked for me. So, nice. But I'm happy to take on new customers if anyone wants to call.
Awesome.
So for sure.
Very cool. Yeah, and once again, folks, local business, shop local, do all your stuff local because it's so important to our community. For no matter what you're buying, I think it's cool to all hang together like that.
Oh, for sure.
And next place you're playing.
I'm going to be in Lake Geneva the 9th, January 9th. It's kind of a hoity-toity party we're playing. It's like $75 a head.
Wow.
It's something up in Lake Geneva. I don't know.
Have gig, will travel.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of times it's in my Google Calendar. It's at Pier 290. That's where it is. Pier 290 in Lake Geneva.
Nice. So. All right, and let's end with this. Your favorite thing about living in Grays Lake?
Oh, boy, it is a community with really, we're talking about the Luke Muds. It's full of a lot of Luke Muds, and the Shimps, I mean, just these guys, all my neighbors, I can ask them for anything. They can ask me for anything, I'm a guy that gets to know everyone. I know all my neighbors,
right.
And I'll talk to anybody. So, and I generally have a really nice experience. It's just a great little warm little town.
It is.
Yeah.
And I just hope we don't get too much bigger because I like the way it is.
Yeah.
I like the way it is. And living here my whole life, I've gotten to see it expand, and I think it's for the better. And we have a lot of things to do. So we just get rid of the train stuff, and then we're fine.
Right.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yes.
Maybe we're going to get somebody on to just talk trains. That's what I want to talk. Because you guys are relatively close to the train tracks.
Yes, right through my backyard.
Right. Yeah. Do they stop back there?
No. Well,
those
occasionally.
Right.
We get the Metro, so it's quick. But in the middle of the night, the freight train comes. But I'm a heavy sleeper.
Right. And everybody says you get used to it.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. My wife, born and raised in Chicago, trains mean nothing to her.
Right.
So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, Peter, thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it. And I hope everybody's taking home something today that's fun. So if you're looking for somebody to paint or looking for a good band, and music for Hello Dave is on Spotify. I know it's on everywhere, right? It doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah. You'll find it.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
And then the one show a year. So if that comes around, if you see an advertisement for it, go out because it's supporting a great cause too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like to see you guys hanging together too.
Yeah,
it's kind of
for
cool.
sure.
All right. So once again, folks, thank you so much for listening. No matter whatever platform you're listening on, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple, do me a favor, write a review for me too, because I think it helps the world go around for anything. And I would suggest everybody does it for any business that you do, local or anywhere, is write them a review. I think too many people don't write reviews when things are good. They only write them when they're bad. So spread some positivity and kindness. Everybody.
Amen.
Do it. So make sure to subscribe on those platforms so you don't need to check our social media, and it just pops up for you every week. And I do suggest, once again, that listen to the people you don't know, because I think that's more fun. It's fun for me to get to know new people, and this has been such a pleasure and an honor to meet people from the community, and that's why I'm doing it, to share it with you. So everybody, have a great day, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, everybody.